Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 753 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined today by Ben Funky Askren, James Dean Rader, and you, especially you, and thankfully you. Otherwise, this is just us talking to each other, which would be fine, albeit pointless. We wouldn't have to get up so early to do that. And the news of the day, of the yesterday, and probably of the week, AJ Ferrari done for the year. Big bummer. Sad news. Coach John Smith announced on a radio show in Oklahoma yesterday. And this was just several days after AJ broke his social media silence and said, I'll be back soon. He didn't put a specific date out there, but he did say, I'll be back soon, which led you to believe he was going to make a run at his second national title. But apparently that is not the case. So I don't know if something changed or, maybe they didn't think the surgery would be necessary. But Coach Smith said a surgery is being scheduled for AJ, but they think he'll be ready to go for next year, which is great news. But no five-timer for AJ. He will not meet the criteria for a medical exemption because he wrestled so much of this season. So huge bummer for Oklahoma State, for AJ. For really wrestling in general, I think I said last week, it's a good thing to have a personality like AJ, in and around the tournament, right? And him being gone, it does create new storylines, but bottom line is it is a bummer. Ben, your thoughts?
No, I mean, especially when there was only two that could go for five, which would be him and Carter. And that's it, right? And now that opportunity is out the window for him. And then obviously Oklahoma State as a team, without him, and they're obviously struggling, right? They did not look great against Iowa on Saturday, but without him at the national tournament, they just don't have the horsepower to score a whole bunch of points.
It's tough without AJ in the lineup. You have two potential national champions. Now you're down to one, and after the performance at Bout at the Ballpark, they've got a ways to go if they want that team of guys to get towards the podium. So bummer there. Get well soon, AJ. And I think the next we'll get to the Bout, but I think the implications of AJ being gone are huge because you look at 197, and it is just
anyone.
David and I were trying to talk. We're talking about this morning. When has a weight been this actually wide open? Like it gets thrown out a little bit, but like actually this wide open, it's been a long time.
It feels like it's been a long time. I'd agree.
So one we thought about was 184 2011 when Quentin won. LeBlanc was the 1 seed. Grant Gambrell actually got third. Hamlin was the runner-up. Bozak was in that field. There were a bunch of dudes. Kevin Steinhaus.
That one was Yeah, that was pretty open.
Yeah.
There wasn't a clear favorite there.
Then you look at, so now the new rankings, Spey and JD updated them last night after the AJ news came out. New number 1, Max Dean, Penn State. Number 2, Jacob Warner, Iowa. But you look at these guys, number 1 lost to number 7. Number 2 lost to number 11. Number 3 lost to an honorable mention, someone outside the top 24.
Who?
Buchanan lost to Owen Pence.
Oh,
Rocky Elam, number 4, has lost to 14 and 16. So this weight is truly all over the place, up for grabs. Take your pick. And, one thing that David said as we were talking about this way is like, it's just going to come down to who you look at the coaching staffs that prepare their guys the best, and then, you can kind of draw your conclusions from there. What that'll mean for this, but it's going to be huge, and I think it could be huge for the potential team race, right? Like if Iowa wants to get back in it, I think it's big.
So I agree. I think when you talk about everyone loses to someone below them, one of the things that says to me is that they have weaknesses in their game somewhere. There's relatively big holes because otherwise, how are you losing to someone that's that much lower ranked than you? But so then you usually go, who has the least holes? And because if you have holes, then you're going to have to win 3 or 4 or 5 hard matches in NCAAs. Your holes are often going to be found. But kind of to your point, everyone has holes. So then it's allows me matchup dependent, being lucky enough to be not matched up a guy who can expose your weaknesses.
And the thing of this weight is, I really believe there's going to be, man, from the round 2 on, there's going to be so many losable matches for high seeds, because look how deep this weight is. Number 19, Jacob Cardenas. Number 18, J.I. Yellow. He beat Jacob Warner. He's a Midlands champ.
Yep.
You got Luke Stout is tough at 17. I mean, even Braxton at 22. Like, no one's going to be pumped to draw him early.
Returning finalist at 15.
Yeah, returning finalist, Nino at 15. This is a dangerous weight class, and a lot of different kind of skill sets. You've got Max, who's really good on top, hard pace, re-attack. You've got Warner, really stingy defensively. Buchanan, really good re-attacks. To me, Schultz is like maybe the most solid all-around guy.
That's a good one,
when you talk about, and this is a guy who was the 2 seed in DMP last year, and he lost to Pence. So
Didn't Pence headlocked him though, right? So Pence, I feel like, straight up beat Buchanan, but didn't he throw? It wasn't that how it was done. He threw Schultz.
I thought it was a weird scramble, but maybe you're right. It was maybe you're right. It was that, but I mean, he pinned Buchanan in a cradle, I think.
Okay, is that what it was? All right.
So not
highly dangerous individual.
Yeah, apparently so. So
I actually like your call on Schultz. He's very solid, and doesn't have a high amount of weaknesses, and he does only have 1 loss this year to Buchanan, who's right. Buchanan's very good, and Buchanan doesn't have a lot of losses, and I guess he got caught in a cradle. And then he has obviously the loss to Ferrari, which was really competitive, and Ferrari won't be in the bracket for obvious reasons. So Buchanan's a guy who could go really far. I think that's a pretty clear one. One of the things I think about Warner, because you mentioned him, and this is something I think about a lot at the NCAA tournament. And actually, when you think about Marinelli, it's something that I kind of think about him. And I can't say this is 100% factual. This is just me thinking through people winning a lot of matches. When you can't go take someone down, put them in a bar, and pin them, or score a whole bunch of points, so you're up by 7 or 8 points, and it's not competitive anymore, you got to wrestle the whole 7 minutes hard, right? If you're a 1 or 2 takedown guy, and Jacob Warner is a 1 or 2 takedown guy against pretty much everyone in this field. He's a 1 or 2 takedown guy. And so if you're having those hard matches from round 1, and you're grinding them out every single time, that adds up after 3 or 4 or 5 matches. Or if you're on the backside, it's more, right? It could be 6 or 7 or 8 matches. Right. Those things add up big time at the NCAA tournament.
Yes. So that's the thing. Whereas, someone like, actually, there's not a lot of guys with serious top game in this weight. Max, I would say.
Rocky Elam's got sometimes a little tilt series.
All right. Bolsek is good on top, but most of these guys are just kind of Nino,
neutral
Trumbull.
But obviously, some of these guys are a little more. Sloan's good on top. Some of these guys are a little more dynamic scoring, right? Where they'll go out and they'll get, because once you once you get 3 takedowns or something, and you're up by, we'll say 4 points, they have 2 escapes. Everything becomes easier because now the other guy, you feel less threatened by them because you're up by 4 points, and then they're forced to make a stupid shot, and you get an easy go behind, or right, something to that effect.
Yes, exactly. We have that Pence, the Pence Schultz,
Pence pin.
The Pence pin of.
Let's see what happened.
Of Eric.
You can fast forward a little bit.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen until the 3rd, I think.
Oh. Well, that looks like he's gonna pin him there with a little neck wrench almost.
It's right here.
It's right here. He's got that bar. All little.
My man hit a Peterson. Oh, he's my new favorite. I love him.
Yeah.
Peterson for the pin.
Caught the arm. Ouch.
Dude, Peterson.
He didn't pin him in a Peterson, to be clear. If you're just listening.
He transitioned to that.
Bro, he turned him into Peterson.
He hit the roll. He hit the whale. I would have called that a whale roll. And then he caught the arm.
Peterson.
Why
is it? What's a whale? What is a whale roll in comparison to a Peterson?
Well, you're using your tail.
Why do we call that? All it was just like in Buffalo Gap, you just like hook the elbow and roll hard, and then you just like turn into him and catch the arm.
So I mean, really, and obviously he actually didn't grab a leg, so maybe Peterson is not. But I kind of think of it as anything where a Peterson, you most people think of you can only have the back grip. I like any grip over there, but anything where your body is dissecting their body, right? Where you can get them perpendicular on top of you, you could generally off balance them relatively easy.
Yes. So, anyways, that was how he got that pin, and 197
Wide open.
It's wide open. Yet, I think for Iowa, you've got to be hoping for best case, worst case. Best case, Jacob can win. Worst case, you need Max Dean to trip on a banana peel once or twice, and he's going to be in losable matches, but you're hoping for some regression there. That's a path for Iowa, or it could work out that Warner or that Dean's just the best guy there. He's number one right now. So, with that, why don't we back up a little bit and talk about the bout at the ballpark? We haven't got to that yet. There was no AJ Ferrari, but there was 10 other matches, and Iowa
freestyle matches.
There were some freestyle matches.
That weren't very close.
They were not close. That was a bloodbath. It's funny because like the Harlem Globetrotters, like when they're playing the local team, like they kind of let the local team like be in it in the fourth quarter, and then they just turn up and they destroy them. It's like in wrestling, that doesn't happen. You're not there's no like free buckets. You're not leaving them open from three. The wrestlers just want to kill, and that's all.
Maybe our guys just need to know how to put on a show. What do you think about that?
There's too much pride in of giving up a takedown. It's like I'm not gonna give up a takedown to this guy. Like that. Yeah. That sends a message. So, just think about the classic wrestling room story. Yeah, this guy, the freshman, took me down, and then it like ignites someone. And then they just beat on this guy in the practice room just for like getting a takedown.
Yeah.
So imagine that on the grander stage. Were you like that at all, Ben? Like, oh, this dude took me down. He's gonna pay.
By certain days, probably. Yeah.
Oh, you had some grumpier days.
There's certain days where you want to. I don't know. At least I think if you're older, you want to work with some dudes and get them better, so you don't just beat their ass. And there's some days maybe you're feeling a little froggy and you're trying to get a little extra hard going, and so you do it.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So the duel started with Mastro versus Ibarra, which was
almost a huge upset.
Almost, and I got to know what you were thinking, because I know what I was thinking. I just said what I was thinking when it happened.
Me?
I want to know what you were thinking. 38
I was thinking,
seconds
God, this is going to be a long night for Oklahoma State. If they can't win this damn match.
Okay, 38 seconds in, Mastro gets the match-tying takedown. What were you thinking when he cut him?
I kind of thought he probably should. So I thought, in normal situations, I would think cut is the easy decision. But in this scenario, I thought that, the rideout's going to be so simple. Why don't you just ride him out and go to overtime?
That's what I thought.
It poses no threat on bottom at all.
I was very surprised. And there was no deliberation by Oklahoma State. They really felt, and I think they saw that Jesse was fading a little bit. That was evident. But I just figured, dude, Mastro is going to ride this guy out, no problem, and then get it done in sudden victory. And he
for people who are doing the math on that, if you cut him, now you're losing by a point. You literally have 38 seconds. If you don't get the takedown, you lose. And if we go double overtime, you have 2 minutes. And if you don't get the takedown in 2 minutes, then we're going to rideouts, and Mastro's going to win the rideouts. Like if they go 100 times, he's going to win the rideouts like 98% of the time. So, because of that, I was kind of surprised.
So Mastro was clearly limited with his knee. He was not the same guy. He wouldn't go under Jesse. So there's some serious limitations there that were, I think, negatively impacting his performance. I don't think that's...
Yeah, that was an eyebrow raiser.
That's not in dispute.
Go down in the second.
When you don't go under Jesse, I mean, you have to figure that's almost an automatic...
Well, it's kind of weird, though, that he didn't go underneath him, because he got taken down and he got up on the takedown. So I was kind of...
I think there's something... Just bending the knee was really painful for him or something. That must have... I mean, to me, I watched that and I'm like, this was disgust. Like, I don't want to go under anyone. I just need to win on my feet and try to gut it out. And gut it out he did, because that was a tough win. And Tom Brands was like very complimentary of Jesse, like just that he competed in a match against a ranked D1 guy. And the void left by Spencer and now Drake is pretty apparent for Iowa.
Well, but Drake's allegedly going to be back.
Allegedly. And our my sources on the ground.
Oh, sources on the ground.
Yeah, Caleb Piles said that he said Drake was drilling shots and go behinds, and Caleb thought he looked good. So take it to the bank.
Nice.
Jake Island, national champ.
Jake Island, national champ. But no, he was working out. He was with the team. Does that mean he'll be back? I don't think the decision's been made yet, but you got to figure that.
Nebraska struggles Nebraska's their last match, and Nebraska's not very good at 125. So, maybe they put him in there, or else they're waiting just Big Tens, and that's it. But he'll be probably unseeded if he goes to Big Tens, or low seeded.
Well, he might be.
He does not have a lot of wins.
Let's look. It says he's 13
in the Big 10.
13-4.
I mean,
but it's specifically in the Big Ten, because a lot of
beat
those are
Cardani
non-Big Ten.
and D'Agostino and Schroeder. That's going to get him a decent seed.
Yeah, actually. But he's got 3 losses to McKee and a loss to Heinzelman. Yeah, maybe that gets him a decent seed.
Yeah, let's look at. We should pull up the Big Ten rankings and see where about he would fall. I think he'd get a decent seed with that ledger. That's not that bad. Big. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like one of those things where, and obviously we know he's actually injured, not sitting out, but like where someone gets a few good wins and they sit out to maintain their good seed.
Yeah, but I don't think that's happening, dude. I think he'll be the 6th.
Okay.
Behind Soriano, Hildebrandt, Barnett, McKee, Heinzelman, who have wins over him. 7 is D'Agostino, 8 is Schroeder, 9 Shawver, 10 Cardani. I think that's right. I think he's even with the amount of matches he's missed, I think he'd be the 6th, which puts him Arnett's corner and Hildebrandt semi. It's honestly perfect if you're Iowa, because you're opposite Nick and McKee, who you're 0-3, and Heinzelman, who you lost to.
it is tricky because D'Agostino beat McKee.
Yeah, that's a good point. So they'll have a tough, and maybe they punish Drake for missing so much time, and he ends up the 7 or the 8.
Kind of fair.
That would be fair. But it's also, you can't ignore the fact that he beat D'Agostino, Schroeder, and Cardani.
D'Agostino also didn't wrestle the first half of the season.
Yes, that's a good point.
They punish him for not wrestling the first half.
But the first half is usually not Big Ten matches. I mean, right? The Big Ten schedules usually starts second week in January or whatever.
True. Okay, and then 133, the match of the night, the one we were looking forward to the most, Dayton Fix versus Austin Desanto. What did you think about this match, Ben? Kind of how it materialized.
I didn't picture it as a 2 takedown match. I thought it'd be 3-2 is kind of what we were.
Yeah, I'm an idiot for taking the Fix line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I beat you dudes again. Woo! Okay, hold on.
What's the score?
I whooped you another week, another Ben Askren W.
I gotta tally up the totals. I didn't.
Well, you say whoop is like winning by 1.
Hey, listen, I beat you. Stop making excuses.
I didn't make an excuse.
So, the Dayton Fix and Desanto match. The second takedown, I think Desanto was being a little overly aggressive, and that was why Dayton was able to get I think it was a duck under. But again, I guess I was surprised, shocked almost, that they had Desanto ride. We said this in the RBY match. Desanto's just not that good on top. Why are we wasting time there? And he didn't get reversed like he did in the RBY match, but he was not in good position on that leg ride. And, they ended up stalemating it. But he was really off to the side, dangling. He was hanging on for dear life. He was not being effective on top. I don't know why they keep wanting him to be on top. I don't get it.
Well, I feel like Austin is good for a solid 30-second ride against just about anyone, which is that's something.
Fair. Okay.
But yeah, I don't understand when he wants to cut. They want him to ride, and he's going to need some time for a takedown, right? At that point in the match, I don't necessarily understand it either. But to me, the most interesting thing was. And I don't know how you can watch that match and not think Dayton's pulling away a little bit. When Dayton, in the first match, there were no takedowns, although Dayton was close. In the second match, Dayton's takedown was a pure counter leg defense takedown. And now this one, it was 2 offensive takedowns off of, I would say, Desanto's forward pressure, which is something I thought would be available to Dayton in the first 2 matches, but he wasn't, right? So he got 2 really strong attacks and finishes and was able to mitigate the pressure from Desanto pretty well.
He did look tired a little bit.
I think. Listen, he probably was. You get tired. I mean, you wrestle. Wrestling. But
so I'll say sorry. That was too simple of me for to say. He looked tired to the point where I thought it may start affecting him, but it didn't. That's a more accurate statement.
Yeah.
The other thing, Dayton's a legend. I thought about it that day about what he was going to do with the weigh-in. Like, is Iowa going to say, cool, go weigh in early, whatever. And I thought, there's no way they're freaking doing that. And then, so I never asked. But then you guys said he wrestled his match. He wrestled his match freestyle, and then he went and weighed in 30 minutes later.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
That is awesome. And it would have been cool to see if he wrestled an Iranian and got a really challenging match, like how that would have affected or not affected him. But he got off the mat after his international win and was 0.1 under. So it like kind of threaded it perfectly, made weight, and then got a big win over Austin, who, other than Austin was pretty close, relatively speaking, to one takedown on like kind of like a go behind, almost like a near side cradle position, but Dayton was able to square up and avoid any points. And so when you look at 133, it still feels like it's Roman and Dayton and then kind of Desanto on an island where no one under him can beat him, but can he go with these guys? We'll see. Now, what'll be interesting is Austin will get another crack at Roman at Big Tens. And I think of the two, Austin's best matchup with those 33s, I think he does match up better against Roman.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Sorry, I yawned. Yeah.
Jeez.
Dang it, I almost covered the line on the next match, though.
Sleepy Ben Askren, they call him.
No, I'm great. I just had a yawn.
Yes. So
then early last night, I got some good rest.
Good. So 41, you go through the first 3 matches here at this match, and you're like, this is going perfectly according to plan for Oklahoma State. You get the wins at 25 and 33. No bonus for Jaden at 41. Things are going great. And then, they lose the next 2, and it's basically a game set match for Iowa. What were your thoughts on 41, though, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, it materialized about as I thought it would. I took Young, the only one to take Young. I lost by half a point, unfortunately. I was thinking maybe he would win a scramble, like get one takedown, and that would be good to keep it close enough, 4.5. Yeah, it was about what we expected.
Yeah. I think Young, so much of his offense is getting to the leg and then, all right, let's figure it out, the finish. And it takes a while. And he's all like here or super extended. And I just thought that just plays right into what Jaden does. But to his credit, he made it tough. He's not easy to score on. And so he was able to hold it to a decision, which could have been a big deal. And he's a guy at 41. I'm curious to see how he does at Big 12s and then NCAAs. I think he's going to be a qualifier. He's obviously got a lot of talent.
Mm-hmm. Hey JD, I'm gonna compliment you on your lines again because that one was half a point. Fix was half a point. Bull was half a point. Kemmer, he was a 1.5. Warner was half a point.
Takedown away.
Yeah, Warner was half a point. Cassiope was half a point.
Yeah, but the Assad gear
Good
one,
line.
pick 'em.
Shut up.
Oof.
We all took gear. That was easy money.
That was.
I did not think. No,
Not
I
my
mean, no
best
one
line.
thought it was gonna be that bad. I thought it was gonna be a 5-2, 6-2.
He blew the major.
Gear gets a takedown and rides for a long time or something like that. Is kind of how I thought it was me. Hey, the other thing that we should talk about is there would have been 3 incidents in here.
Yeah. Oh, there was so much riding. It was like
So much riding.
the Murin G match. He rode for forever in a day, and it was all
There was
these
no insta-death
restarts.
in that one, I don't think, right?
Doesn't
It was
matter.
Kemmer,
Still,
Gear,
like,
and Cass all would have insta-deathed him.
Yes.
Well, the thing about the Murin is, and this is young, but I don't know. We should, I have mixed feelings on this. Is because obviously, if someone gets to the feet on bottom, you have to mat return them in order to then break them down and then turn them. There's no other way to do it, right? That's the only way. But when the only thing you're doing riding is mat returning someone, it sure feels like it's stalling because you're not doing anything. They just keep getting on their feet and you keep pushing them out of bounds, or they like to lock in the crotch one and lifting right there. And so between Murin and Caleb Young, shoot, they might have had freaking 27 mat returns.
Yeah. Is this?
So do you feel like it? Do you feel? I mean, I said I feel both ways. Do you feel like that's stalling or not stalling?
I feel
Because
like
to me,
I feel like I was seeing the new evolution of gaming the drop down ride.
yeah,
That's how I felt. I felt like, all right, here, this is the new game. Let them get up, and now let me make it about finishing leg attacks and accumulating riding time. And maybe I think it's a more dangerous game to play than just literally lining up and dropping down. But because if they're on their feet, it's a little bit tougher to pull the leg in. But even still, I don't know. It just didn't feel like top wrestling to me. It just felt like this new.
it's so many mat returns. Yeah, it's annoying.
Is that Shane Sparks? Is that the dream, Shane? Really? That's the match? He probably loved it. That was the perfect intersection of Max Murin and mat returns.
Yeah, I mean, man, once they get to their feet so many times, it's like like I said, it's like you have to mat return them. You can't just let them go. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're gonna turn them. But when literally the only thing he's doing is mat returning, it's like I feel like you should just be forced to let them go. They get their feet 5 times, you suck on top. They get free. Something to that effect.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But Murin, I thought looked good. I mean, G.
Yeah, 2 takedowns.
I don't even know if G got to a leg. He got the reversal and he kept looking for a reversal, but he wasn't able to generate any offense. Nor really was Wyatt Sheets. I thought he might be able to. He didn't attack much, and Young.
He's never had very good insta-death, right?
What?
Oh my gosh! I just I want to say.
You can't stop thinking about insta-death.
I wanted to say he's never had really good leg attacks, and I'm watching everyone. I'm scrolling through the Facebook chat. Everyone's talking about insta-death, and I said he doesn't have very good insta-death.
He doesn't have very good insta-death. He didn't hear. He was not able to insta-death or anything resembling it. He had some nice fakes that seemed to be getting decent reactions, but he didn't follow up much with any offense. And Young got in on a nice high crotch and was able to get the finish. And that was pretty much it.
Wait, but I'm not wrong, right? Yeah, he's never had good leg attacks.
He's got good elbow control stuff. He's got like an elbow control high crotch and duck. But when he beat Young, I think it was a counter cradle that was big, and then he rode, if I'm remembering correctly. So yeah, he's not known for his prolific leg attacks, but he's good. The 65 was interesting because I didn't know what. So Bull got the nice
right away.
Down. Yeah, right away. But then Whitley could not generate much offense. But was it just me? I mean, it wasn't just me. He was slapping his legs. Did you notice this?
I didn't notice this.
Whitley, he kept like hitting his thigh. Like
maybe it's a Tourette's tick or something.
I don't think so. I think he was trying to. I don't know what it was. Maybe JD can pull it up. But definitely in the
pull it up. I definitely did not notice this, Christian.
He was slapping his thigh.
Maybe he was thinking of a song in his head and he was slapping.
Tyler, if you pull up the match at about the 6-minute mark, you can see it.
Okay.
We got some thigh slapping.
Yeah, no, I did not notice this. I just thought, man, I thought we were going to get that line for sure. Once Marinelli gets that first takedown in like 10 seconds, I'm like, oh, this is a done deal. And then he just shuts down and doesn't get another one. I was highly annoyed, I'll tell you that much. Both because the wrestling didn't have a lot of action and I didn't cover my line.
I know. I feel like I was when we were doing the Iowa Penn State duel. All you would talk about was like how things were impacting the lines for your pick'em contest on FRL, not the actual match.
Well, that makes people want to listen to FRL more.
Okay, well, yeah, maybe so.
Maybe so.
So we're gonna wait. I thought we were getting to the.
I don't think we're getting there.
Oh yeah, Tyler accidentally clicked the ad. Now he's
Go buy a Dolomer, Matt.
go buy a Dolomer, Matt. They're great. So we're gonna here. He's pulling it up here. Whitlake versus Marinelli.
Yeah. Hey, so listen. Wait. Did you guys before we pulled the thigh slapping up? Did you guys have the same sentiment as me that once Marinelli got that first takedown, he was going to win by a handful?
I thought he might
I
get a
didn't
couple
think-
more.
Yeah, I thought he would get another takedown at least.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing the thigh
I
slapping. Christian.
thought he
I'm
looked
looking at it.
good. I feel like Bull since the Carchel loss has looked really good. I thought this was He did there's a mini slap there. You could probably pull him in.
Okay, let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, he's like he's singing in his head. He's tapping
Go
to
back
the
10
rhythm or
seconds,
something.
Tyler.
He did it, but he did
I
it.
saw it.
He did it several times.
Maybe it's a Tourette's tick or something. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think he was trying to get. I think he wanted Marinelli to shoot in, and maybe he could win a scramble. But he kept doing it. I don't know. I don't know what it means. It may mean nothing.
Nobody knows what it means.
Yeah, no, you're right though. He
provocative.
does keep doing it very. He does keep doing it a little bit.
Yeah. So Bull gets it done. 3-2 win. Kimmer over Plot.
When Bull did the bat swing after
Yeah.
Dayton, I was really hoping he was going to Bo Jackson knee slap
yeah.
it. That would have been great.
That would have been a good touch. He kind of like just slapped it a little double against the shift there.
Yeah.
You know, little taparoo. Dayton had the big swing. Ben, this place was awesome. At the baseball field, there's I think a few little things that could make it cooler, but it was.
I
a
texted
really cool
you,
thing.
Christian. You couldn't really tell how big the crowd was on the broadcast.
They said like 12,000 was the number I heard.
Okay.
So that's
Yeah,
really
that's
a
right.
really strong crowd for wrestling. I think if the mat was closer to the people, it was because it was like think about it.
So-
it was basically over second base. The mat was, and the people were like behind home plate.
No, there
majority
was
of them.
mat side, a decent amount of mat side match
I
or
know.
seating as well.
Yeah, they were coming up behind me and yelling.
They were serving alcohol in the ballpark, and it was being
yeah.
consumed.
It was being consumed. Libations. Well, they got this party. They got this Texas Live thing right next to it, which is basically just a really cool like bar, tavern place.
So, but it looked like there was even more mats. So you can see the two mats there, right?
Yeah.
But was there like more mats? What was that? Was there a tournament there, or what was going on?
They did a
Why
little
was there
kid-
so many mats?
They did a little kid takedown tournament in the morning back there, and then those were warm-up mats.
Dang it! I wish I knew that.
Got it.
I entered Caleb.
I had no idea either until I showed up early.
Caleb needs that mat time. He got to get mat time states this week. It's actually
Really?
next week.
You going?
Yeah, rookie states. Get some.
Also, there were giant screens, so
Yeah,
even if you were not like right up next to the mat, you could still see just
Yeah.
fine.
the pyro was great too. It was man, production wise, like in the in-house in venue. Obviously, I thought our production was killer too, but like the in venue overall thing was super pro. Very fun event to be.
They caught me off guard with those fireworks during the national anthem. I didn't know that was happening.
I didn't know you're allowed to do that. Indoor fireworks in Texas. There are no
No
laws.
fireworks.
We do what we want here.
Tremendous.
Tremendous. Plot. Kimmer looked great. Not a lot to say other than
Not competitive, but he didn't freaking finish his takedown. Don't these guys know we're trying to win contests here? And he could have went and got a take. Go get another takedown, Michael Kemmerer. It would have been easy. Just go get him.
easy for you to say. Warner, an 11-3 winner over Sticka. Perfect line there by JD. Sticka, you know what? He kind of impressed me. He's got a lot of fighting heart.
He got a lot of fight. He ain't very good at wrestling though.
He's at 84. And then Cassiope versus Serber. There was an interesting scramble there early, and then Big Tone had that. He took over.
Big toned him. Yeah.
He did, because he do.
So, unfortunately, there really wasn't very many good matches in this duel. Like, that were actually competitive. I mean, you really only had the first one, which we didn't expect, Fix and Desanto, and then Wilt Lake and Marinelli. None of the others were really very close.
Yes.
It really got away from them boys at the end.
It did. John Smith was notably, visibly pretty perturbed with their performance, and I think the lack of offense was what bothered him the most. And
yeah, I tweeted. You made a comment. Was it you? It was some. I was either you or who was it? Bader with you?
Yeah.
Okay. When Gear got the takedown, that was the first takedown they had since 133.
Yeah, Bader made that comment. That's insane.
From 41 to 74, and I was like, "Oh, damn, he's right. That's freaking crazy."
It's not just part of that is they spent a lot of time on bottom.
Yeah,
that's part of it.
Do you think that is more credit to Iowa's writing or something with Oklahoma State not being able to get out?
I mean, Iowa's particularly stingy on top. Yeah. You know, they work harder with the mat returns, which, like I said, I have mixed feelings on whether it's stalling or not. And I think in some situations it clearly is, and in other ones it's more up in the air. But they work harder at the mat returns than almost anyone, so that's part of it. And but yeah, teams should be working more on like clearing as people get to their feet.
And maybe that's, I mean, going back to Desanto, is Iowa's just mantra just like, man, no free points, just make them earn every single thing, and they're trying to get Desanto in that vein. Yeah. The difference being Desanto's wrestling Dayton Fix, not G or Sheets or someone that's a little more.
But the other difference there too, Christian, is he was losing both those matches going into the third period.
Yeah, I would like to see like, I mean, Austin's best turn that he has, like actually from top, is like he gets the hammerlock, he puts it on the back, and he does that like sort of suck. What do you call that tilt? Where you get the hammerlock and you get chest to back, and you.
I hate that tilt because listen, if I get your arm on your back, I'm gonna pin you. So why are we bothering tilting people when we just pin them? This is dumb.
Okay, different strokes apparently.
Listen, the whole goal of wrestling is to pin someone. You get the arm on their back, you just crank on their neck, they can't stop. You punch it over, pin them, be done with it. Don't be fancy and try tilting them and nonsense. It offends me when someone tries to show that tilt. It's like whoa. We got the arm on their back. This is all but over, folks, if you know what you're doing here. Stop trying to tilt someone to be fancy. Just turn them over and pin them.
There you have it.
I don't know what it's called because it's dumb.
Okay, it's dumb. So, yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. Oklahoma State at times has had thematically issues for their team underneath. That's one thing that John has said before. I forget. After 1 year, he's like, hey, we got to get better on the bottom.
Yes.
And so maybe it's a little bit of that, a little bit of, I think it's probably a little bit of both to have a bit of a cop-out answer. But Iowa's got a test. They're one of the few teams with a test late. Penn State's, I think they have one more match, and then they're done. They've got, I think it's Ryder.
What do you mean?
Before Big Tens.
Before Big Tens. Whereas like Iowa's got Nebraska. So that's a very tough duel.
Solid match.
Yes, very solid. So we'll see them. That's on Sunday night. Sunday night is going to be tremendous, to use Ben's word. He loves saying tremendous. And I think it's apropos here because we're going to have Iowa, Nebraska, and Virginia Tech, NC State Sunday night.
Yeah, we're getting that duel. Nice. Okay.
How sick is that?
You can watch with us in the watch party.
Yes, you can. We had the wildest watch party ever on Friday. We were all in the hotel.
You guys got hammered or what?
No alcohol or drugs were consumed, Ben. It was just like, six people in a hotel room.
6 dudes, just guys being dudes.
We had we had 7 pizzas. It smelled terrible. Shout out to Kozak for letting us bring all that pizza in there. But yeah, it was fun. If you tuned in, we appreciate it. Okay, other things happening. There was a lot. One, Keegan O'Toole pinned Anthony Valencia, which but I didn't get to watch this match.
Did you see Oh, he did something really stupid, and that happens sometimes. Well, he was winning the match clearly and got in a takedown, and then kind of got a little sloppy on the finish and got in a situation. And he could have very easily just gave up 2, but he went to try to put him on his back, and he got rolled through to his own back.
He almost got Valencia.
He rolled through his own. So he gave up
Shane
4
Griffith.
points. So it was 6-6 after the second period, and then Valencia chose bottom. God knows why, and Keegan just pinned him.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? That's how it
Yeah,
materialized.
I don't know why he chose bottom. Yeah. So he was up 6-2. So it was what? 2 takedowns, an escape because Keegan chose bottom. How did he have the 6 points? So it was 2 takedowns, an escape, and I don't know how he got the 6 point. And then I know he got Valencia. He got a takedown. Valencia got a reversal. He got an escape, and then a takedown. So he was up 6-2, and got in on a deep shot. Kind of got a little sloppy on the finish. And then they got in a scramble, and then he got in a situation where he could have bailed because it was a kind of a sketchy situation, and he tried to put Valencia on his back, and he got rolled through to his own back, gave up 4, so 6-6, and then Valencia chose bottom, and he decked him.
How did he pin him?
I don't know why Valencia chose
I
bottom.
can't find the
Cradle,
match.
cradle
I can't find the match.
Now you know my pain, Christian. You guys always make
No.
fun of me.
No,
Some
we're
of
not
these
making
matches
fun.
are hard
I
to
don't-
find.
No one can find it. Even
Dude,
JD's young and he can't find it. So I think that
It's
I was
freaking
so
Pac-12
annoyed with-
Insider. It's not just Pac-12. It's
Pac-12
Pac-12
Insider. Let me
Insider.
complain about
there
the
are no
Pac-12.
Pac-12 insiders. There's no one.
Let me complain. Can I complain here for a second?
Go off,
So
King.
I try to turn on the match. I'm watching the FloWrestling International on one time, and it's every match is 10-0. It's hard to get into because they're all non-competitive.
Yeah.
And so then this match is coming. I'm coming to watch this match also. And I turn it on, and it's just this commercials playing for Pac-12 Insider. And they played commercials for like 15 minutes. I was getting on text with Keegan and Peyton's dad, like, am I on the wrong channel? Like, what am I doing here wrong? And sure enough, the wrestling match came on after like 16 minutes of commercials. It was so
what's up.
weird.
Maybe that's why the point was deducted. The delay of match.
Did you see that both teams had a point? Did you see that?
I think that was at 97 because I clicked off after 97, and it was kind of uneven in the third period, where it wasn't super close, and I walked to get something, and then when I came back, it was 1 point less on both team scores, so I don't know.
What is delay
what
of match?
happened. No, I think he's joking. A delay match.
No.
In the box score.
The box scores, it says both teams were deducted for the delay of match.
I don't know. It happened at 197 because I'll tell you the team scores changed when I came back from 197.
Okay, but if you deduct a point from both teams, why are
Maybe
you
they started
deducting a point?
fighting. I don't know. I'm not sure what happened.
That would delay the
It was
match.
197 because I know the team score. It was third period, not a lot of time left. I went to, I don't know, take a piss or do something. I came back and I noticed, wow, both teams got deducted a point.
Can you just tell me how Keegan pinned Anthony?
I just told you, inside cradle.
Oh,
I
inside
don't know why
cradle. I missed
Valencia
that.
chose bottom. I don't know why.
Okay. Well, you got to get that free point, Ben.
It was a fight.
Really?
Really?
According to producer Tyler Walcador, Nell Fleet opened up the scoring against Rocky Elam. A controversial fight ended in a 4-2 loss for Northfleet as ASU lost a critical challenge to seal the victory for Elam.
Wow. What a
So
fight.
I don't know why that line, that was one of your not so good lines. You had Elam at -5.5, and Northfleet's really good. I know he majored him last year, but I said wrestlebacks matter. Wrestlebacks are.
Yeah. Sometimes people are sad, and you never consider the sadness.
They just roll
JD.
over.
Yeah.
I considered it a little, not as much as I should have.
So, Missouri beats Arizona State, continuing a very tough schedule for Missouri this year. Mako wins. Mako had a notable result, I thought.
No, he tech fouled him. It wasn't super competitive, and he missed a few matches, and Harmon did a great job while he was gone.
Ja'Cory, a 3-1 sudden victory winner over JQ's.
Super boring match.
Super boring. So yeah, those are some of the notable. Parco over Edmond 3-2, but
That was good. I mean, Edmund wrestled him hard, but he just did something really stupid in the third period, and just went for something that just wasn't necessary to go for, and gave Parco a relatively easy takedown. Just not good decision making.
got it. So the best duel of the weekend was undoubtedly UNI versus Iowa State.
That was good. I watched that. That was
amazing
on Flow.
duel, start to finish, pure.
But they screwed my guy Gunderson. What the
son of
heck?
Gunder.
And that was the duel. That was the duel right there, because Bastida got the major, but it would have been 6-0.
Would have been a lot tougher. I kind of felt like at the end, Bastida could get as many points as he needed to. He was just it was close
But
to
what
it, Will.
if Christian, what if he holds him on his back for a while there, and then it's 6-0 or 6-1 with ride time at the end of the first instead of 2-0 the opposite direction?
No, that for sure would have had a changed everything about the match.
Yeah, if people don't know what we're talking about, Gunnarsson has a wicked Winn-Dixie. Yeah, let's pull it up. He's got a wicked Winn-Dixie, and his feet are they come together, but they're not crossing. And the ref stops it and gives a penalty point, and then stops and reviews the footage and says, no, it's not actually a penalty. But then it's like, hold on, you took this guy off his back, and you're not rewarding the guy who you stopped the action against, So I think it happens at maybe a minute 45.
It's a minute 30 into
a minute 30 in the first period.
Yeah, halfway through the first period.
So yeah, this bonus point was huge.
Bonus point because it was a dual termer. The heavyweight match was super close.
Right,
all right,
here.
Rewind there 2 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, pause here. Bring us in. So yeah,
Reattack.
Stevie goes head in. So it's a double leg, but the head ends up on the inside. And he lifts him, and Gunnarsson goes Winn-Dixie. And look, he's on his back.
But did they cross for a moment?
He did not cross.
It was like a halfway cross.
They don't cross. So if they cross,
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know the rules.
Well,
for
they
what's
obviously
technically
waved
a
it
scissor.
off. There was no penalty, guys.
Yeah, I mean they looked at it and determined there was no penalty, so I guess
Boom.
not.
So I mean he's being held.
He
on
also
his
didn't
back
call a
here.
penalty. He called potentially dangerous. No.
No, he called a penalty initially.
Yeah, he did this. No, he did this.
That one is potentially
This is
dangerous,
potentially.
and he didn't award a point.
Wait,
Man.
what would be potentially dangerous about that situation?
I think he just got confused and just did nose whistle.
Well,
I
think
literally think that's what happened. He's like, "What's happening?
Oh.
I gotta stop this." And then
What is happening? What is
Yeah.
happening here?
there's no way you could think he was in danger, like actual danger.
There was no danger there.
I
mean,
said
did
grave
you,
danger.
McKee Heinzelman,
Oh my gosh!
Wait, what?
Did you not see this, Ben?
Friday night.
Heinzelman got choked out in he was coming out the back door,
Show me.
and we can't.
Damn it all.
Big Ten on social rights.
But so basically, it's like a single leg position, kind of drape for McKee, and he's just got his legs kind of tied around his leg, and you could tell McKee.
But it wasn't. It was there was one on each, and his feet weren't crossed.
Yeah, but
So I think he just squeezed his thighs enough to where it choked him out.
great thigh power from Patrick McKee.
But
It's
he thigh
not on-
masters.
I'm trying to find it on. Oh my gosh! Patrick McKee and Malik Heinzelman wrestled in the semifinals at 88 pounds. Fargo, 2014.
That
That's
sounds
the only
about
match I
right.
can find. I can't find the real match.
Look up select matches.
Ohio
Minnesota,
State,
Ohio State, and Big Ten Network. Probably put it on YouTube.
Yeah. Come on, Ben.
But usually they also they will also highlight they'll have the name in there so it'll come up even if you.
So the weird thing was they kind of broke the lock for stalemate or potentially dangerous, whichever, and Heinzelman kind of shoved him off, and then he just drops, just goes completely out. And then they actually...
It was after he got off that he
it's
went out.
not on the select matches, guys.
I don't know why they wouldn't
All right,
put that one in the select
You
matches.
need to get your... you have to fire up your BTN Plus.
They have Kale Carlson and Karchla,
Wow.
which is...
That's sort of confusing.
But it says 184, so that doesn't make sense either. Hold on. No, it's Karchla and Kale Carlson.
All right, so we're not going to wait for Ben to find that.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Good. Keep going.
So UNI Iowa State had more than a couple pretty notable results. Teskey had a big win over Terrakina. He looked really good, and that's a big win for him as he's kind of rounding into form, it seems, late in the year. Biscaglia dominated a Tisov, which I don't think either of us, any of us.
Biscaglia only wrestles 1 or 2 point matches.
And he's really good but he is really good on top because I watched him at when they did that tri-duel at Missouri. I was impressed with his top skill, not neutral skills, but top skills were really good.
And Parker, he was losing that match late, and then gets the cradle and almost gets the pin.
Yeah.
And Happel fights out of it, which was huge for the duel as well. And so Iowa State kind of responds with 3 in a row with Parker, Deegan, and Carr. But Carr could not get the major against Holschlag, which you're looking back, that could have been a huge factor in who wins the duel if Bastida doesn't end up getting the major later. Keckeisen.
Yeah. Okay, I was really impressed. I told you guys, I sent you guys a text. I was impressed with, hey, do you know what period the Malik Heinzelman and McKee thing happens in?
Third
period. Okay, I was really impressed with Marcus Coleman's ability to scramble out of some of those takedowns in the first period. It was super impressive.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's having a good year, which speaks to the level that Kekaisen's at, that he was able to win 7-2. Then we had, it comes down to heavyweight, Skyler versus Isley.
Oh, damn. This Matt, how about, you guys didn't talk about this Matt return, though.
Which one?
How about this Matt return that starts the third period? Heisman freaking bombed him. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, you dropped him right on his face, didn't he?
Yeah.
Hard. Yeah.
Yeah, McKee, you got to catch your fall, dude.
Yeah.
Well, McKee kind of like almost turns to Granby, but doesn't turn to Granby.
Yeah, and he just goes like, head first.
Yes. Wow. And they stopped the match here, or they're stopping the match because of it?
So it happens with like 135 left in the third.
And wasn't it close at that point? And then Heinzelman just came back from concussion protocol and dominated.
Like, well, Heinzelman is trying to tap.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Yeah. It just, wow. I'm shocked he got enough pressure. Where's the other hand at? I need another angle here.
It's weird once the pressure got relieved.
Does he grab? Is he grabbing his own leg there?
Dude, is it like
no. So he does. No, he does because his arm, he's putting pressure on both sides of the neck because his other arm is coming in. And Heinzelman tries to tap, but then goes out.
It's crazy how he goes out so fast because the lock is only on for like a couple seconds, right? It's not
that's all it takes in those situations. And what's funny is when they potentially dangerous, he kind of looks like he's still there, and then boom, done. Wow.
Really, as soon as he lets go, he drops.
Yes.
That was the weird part. But then he's fine. God. You know, he just got choked out. It was almost
we talked about this last week.
Yeah, we were talking about
back up and keep wrestling.
Yeah, no big deal. Smacked out of it. Yeah, but he came back and he beat him even worse in the remainder of the match. So good win for Heinzelman there, and definitely.
Wait, so is that considered injury time, or what do you consider this?
He went into concussion protocol.
So that
why would they go to concussion protocol? He got choked out. It's not a concussion. What the hell's wrong with? Don't these trainers know they're not? Do your job, trainer. He obviously doesn't have a concussion, you moron.
I wonder if any time you lose consciousness, if it just falls under that bucket.
But you can see it's his neck. It's very clear.
Yeah, I'm just saying maybe there's the rule, like if someone goes unconscious, it's concussion protocol, whether it's a concussion or not.
Okay.
Just like someone should look at this guy.
I want to yell at the trainers. Stop trying to defend him.
It's probably not. I guarantee it's probably like an NCAA official rule.
I got you.
So anyway, Heinzelman wins.
Also, the trainers can't be blamed because obviously Ohio State trainers going to want to go into concussion protocol to give Heinzelman as much time as possible and not choice.
And then he immediately takes down McKee afterwards. Like, Heinzelman's kind of looking good, guys. But he was looking really good at the end of last year, and then he crushed my fantasy team. Okay. So Iowa State UNI was definitely the duel of the weekend, in my opinion. There's some other good ones, but
Isley is back.
Isley's back, but he lost.
He did kind of blow it down.
He gave up a.
All right, so John Kozak sent me he just sent me a DM from the rule book, and I'm going to take umbrage with this, but the wording says any hold with pressure exerted over the opponent's mouth, nose, throat, or neck that restricts breathing or circulation is illegal. I want to say, do you guys not know that's like 80 different wrestling holds? A front headlock does that. A headlock does that. Like, there's so many moves that do this. So that's kind of ridiculous.
Well, the rules are the rules.
Yes. Sure.
All right. Next up, where do we want to go? Oh, man, Gable's final match. Holy smokes.
Awesome.
He went so hard at Orndorff and got the tech, and then he got
talked trying to pin him in the first period for a minute.
Yes. I mean, he was tilting him up. He was just doing everything he wanted. It was he never ceased. He continues to get better and better. And the backflip at the end for his final home match is pretty freaking awesome.
He brought it out of retirement.
Yeah. He said it was done, but he can't resist. I didn't know if he'd have enough room. He kind of started his backflip like really like deep into the match. I was like, he's gonna like end up hitting but the ultimate athlete, the ultimate body awareness.
There it is.
Yeah, here we go. If you're watching, you can see takes a bow. That's how Ben Askren went out, I remember.
I did a backflip for sure.
You did a bow. You passed. Can you do a backflip?
No. Never been able to do a backflip. Very
Have you
unfortunate.
worked at it? Jake Herbert's like, I can teach anyone to do a backflip.
I have not worked. I mean, I've definitely, when I was younger, I've definitely tried a significant amount of times. I wouldn't say I've like worked very clearly at it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, where do we go? Should we go to some questions? I mean, a nice weekend for Rayvon Foley. He beats both Chris Cannon and Dylan Ragusin.
Yeah, he's rounding into form. I mean, Michigan State, Caffey's starting to look better too.
Yep.
Michigan State get a couple guys on the All-American podium.
Yep, that would be big for them. Tanner Huffman, Desanto hasn't scored an offensive point against RB Wire Fix since 2019. Is aggressiveness overrated for elite wrestlers? I don't think it's overrated.
No, but I just talked about this. I did a very long mental Monday yesterday. And I talked about aggressiveness is something that wanes in effectiveness the older you get, the younger you are, right? If you're like a little aggressive 8-year-old, it's highly effective because everyone's intimidated. But aggression is always beneficial, and I shouldn't say always, is generally beneficial in wrestling. Desanto just can't against, right? It's really against two really, really good guys. We're not talking about like he can't beat number 16. That's not the case. But against two really, really good guys who are highly proficient, aggression is not going to get him over the hump against these guys. He has to have the key to unlock the technical finishes against RY and Dayton Fix. And it's a very tough solution. Obviously, it can be done, but it's not easy.
Yes, I agree. I think the point that Tanner's getting at is all his pressure and hand fighting. Is it overrated? And I don't think it is. I think it's essential to his. I think it's what keeps him in these matches, right? He's absolutely. Sure. He's not able to get those kind of stall calls and the kind of movement.
If you're not as good at technically, you might as well.
Well, but if say I gave him or someone gave him, and he was able to find the solution of finishing a leg attack, that would also keep him in the matches too, right? So it's not.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up. Current flow rankings were the seeds for NCAAs. Is there a more fire bracket than 149? There's some crazy matchups in pre-quarters, pre-semis, and semis. Pile, too bad your boy Bo probably draws in against Sasso. Yeah, too bad for Sasso. Just kidding. Actually, that's not ideal for Sammy, even though
it'll be a close match.
Yeah, it's been close both times they wrestled. But, yeah, let's look at what that would be.
49 is deep.
It is. I mean, G's 18th, Sherman 16th, Bartlett 15th. So you're looking at what?
So I feel like there's I actually feel I don't know, opposite of 97, where I'm like this. I mean, like they're even, but I don't feel as highly about these guys as I do. Or say 65. I think has a few more guys who are really good. I feel really highly about the top three, but then even like Austin Gomez having a great year, but I didn't think he was great coming in this year. Ridge Lovett does some really good things, but has weaknesses. Andonian, same thing. As we go down.
Also, all roads lead to Yanni, where that's not the case at 197.
Yeah,
that's true. Yes,
this weight for me is not as deep as 97, but it does have the big boss. And then
and I guess to that point, Sasso's kind of a second boss because I don't think he's lost anyone besides Austin O'Connor in 2 years, right?
Don't sleep on Tariq either.
Tariq's been good. I mean, he was third last year. A lot of good wins. It's an interesting way, man. Gomez versus Wilson would be an interesting one. Would like to see Lovett.
Gomez Yanni's this week because they wrestle Sunday.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Gomez Yanni. I think that's. I mean. Listen, everyone's a tough matchup for Yanni. Everyone has a tough matchup with him. But yeah, the 49 is fun. We also had a question while we're on 49. How many All-Americans will the state of North Carolina colleges have at 149? The over and under was 2.5 because you've got Austin Gomez, you've got Jonathan Milner, Josh Heil, and
Austin Gomez. Why did you say Austin Gomez? They said
excuse
North
me,
Carolina.
because I meant Tariq Wilson. I get those two confused all the time.
Naturally.
Very easily.
Very
confused.
similar wrestlers. And then Zach Sherman also for UNC factors in there. So I would think the over under he said is 2.5. I would definitely take the under there.
I would definitely take the under. I think it should be more like 2, and 2's a push.
Yeah. I'd honestly say 1.5.
Yeah, I mean 1.5 is probably would get some extra. Yeah, I mean, so obviously when I say like, I feel like a Heil at 9, Murin at 10, Thomas at 11. Like these guys can definitely pick off some of those higher ranked guys. And I think the top 3, Wilson, Sasso, and Yanni, and they're almost, in my opinion, almost on their own islands. I guess maybe I should wait and see Tariq versus Sasso before I totally make that call, but I kind of feel that way.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Bo Nickel origin stories aside, what's the state of wrestling in the state of Texas? So the state is
what is the state?
The state is we have a lot of wrestlers. We have a lot of women's wrestling as well. I think the most of any state, but it's not super elite. You get the AJs, you get the Bo Nickels. We've had Slay and Tervel, and so there've been some Texans.
Damn, you're going back far, huh?
Yeah, I'm just saying. There's been, Kennedy Monday, sort, kind of from Texas a little bit, but there's not a ton of super elite schools or coaching, which is going to limit the upside for sure.
That's the key point right there. I think is that because there hasn't been. There's been minimal college wrestling in Texas. You're not getting high school coaches who have a lot of skills and can really bring the level of wrestling up. And until that happens, I think that's one of the reasons why, to say Pennsylvania, the whole area is so tough is they have so many colleges that have wrestling. And a lot of those colleges go back, some of those guys graduate and they go coach high school. And then the high school kids are getting a really high level of coaching.
To contrast that, North Carolina has how many colleges?
11.
And they still stink.
And their high school wrestling not
They're like
great.
71s.
Yeah.
That is curious. I do think about that.
That's more than twice as many as Iowa.
So I think like Pennsylvania guys, they go off to college, they wrestle, and then they move back to Pennsylvania, and then they coach. Like there's some coaching. Yeah. I forget who even told me, but like just one youth club that like run-of-the-mill youth club has like 3 NCAA qualifiers coaching at it. It's not even like not a young guns type of thing. It's just like everywhere. So you're just exposed to so much more. And
I saw, my buddy Matt Pell's in PA now, and him and Annie Renos. It's like the youth club has 2 All-Americans in their room. D1 All-Americans in the room. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's such a huge advantage. Like in Texas, a lot of the coaches are football coaches. Like, they coach football, and then they coach wrestling, and their background's not in wrestling, so that makes it tougher. But obviously Texas has athletes. We've got the talent base. We could be as good as anyone, but I think coaching is huge. So that's, if I had to describe it, that's how I would describe it. State championships are this week down in Houston.
Oh baby,
bring it home.
Bring home a ring.
Get you one of these.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
High school teams are actually like in the Austin area. how many high school teams do they actually have? Do they all have wrestling? Is it like half of them? Is it a quarter of them? Is it, where are we at?
I would bet 75% have wrestling. In our
really,
area,
that many? That's a lot.
Yeah, in our area, most do. Like, I think Round Rock's like a huge school division here, and I think every high school in Round Rock has it. Every Pflugerville, I think most of the Austin, the Lake Travis area. So I think pretty much all of them have wrestling. Now maybe West Texas, I don't know. It's like a different country basically. But
Texas is so big, people don't. It's so freaking large.
It's insane. Like we're Central Texas, and I think the western border is like 10 hours away or something insane.
Yes, something crazy.
It's big. And okay, Next question. Most likely 2022 will mark 15 years since someone other than Penn State, Iowa, or Ohio State won a team title. Would you bet on those 3 teams to win the next 15 or the field to get at least one?
Oh, I say the field gets one.
You do?
Yeah, there's so many moving parts that you can't control, and we're not saying that the field gets a bunch. We're just saying the field, right? The field gets one. That's all. So I think the chances of that are probably more likely than opposite.
Yes. So
in addition,
Yeah.
one more thing is I think there'll probably be some coaching changes if we go 15 years out.
that's a good point. So in those field teams, you've got the Oklahoma State, you've got Michigan, you've got Arizona State. There's a lot of teams that are going to be in that mix. So I would think at some point one of those teams will get it. Hopefully. I mean, I don't think you want the same 2 teams, 3 teams winning, every year. But that's kind of what we have in wrestling when you look at it.
Yeah, I think when Missouri got ranked number 1 when I was there, there had only been 11 other teams who had been even not one, but been ranked number 1.
Yeah, that's insane. That's a very low number.
Ben, I looked it up. 12 of the 13 Austin Independent School District high schools have wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
There's not a lot of Yeah. So that's a lot. All right. Next question.
And that does not include the burbs.
No burbs. When's the last time multiple returning champs started the following season but didn't compete at the national championship? So talking about Spencer and AJ. I don't know.
Interesting.
I cannot.
It has to have had happened, but
two champs. I don't know. I mean, even Mekhi Lewis competed at the national tournament. One time, Dustin Schlater was not a returning national champ, but he was a national champ, and then he did not get to wrestle his senior NCAAs, though he qualified.
An Olympic redshirt year, like the year Yanni didn't.
Yeah, but this guy's Lefty Strat's criteria is that they started the season.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think I would bet that hasn't happened. To have 2 champs come back and then be gone. Very unfortunate.
That one would take some homework. Kozak.
He
finds everything
That
fast.
sounds like something Ben would assign us to do. Go look back in the entire history.
you guys need a division that does that. You need a division. Like the stock traders got quants. You guys need a bunch of dudes sitting around computers ready to look up stats. Whenever we have the desire to know a stat, you guys go to the room. Guys, I need a stat. Give me it. Find search. Listen, you guys got enough money down there at Flow. Build a staff. Piles, find a bunch of nerds who want to sit in computers.
Maybe we are. we got plans. With Ferrari out, who's left that could be a 5-timer? Just Starace? How about 4-timer with 5 cracks at it? How would the legacy of each 5-timer and a 4 out of 5-timer be thought of in comparison to a true 4-timer? I think that I think they would be looked at differently if they won 4 and had 5 cracks, right? Especially if,
as you should.
excuse me.
Yes.
But it would be weird if someone won 4.
Feels like it shouldn't count.
But what if someone won 4 and then lost on their fifth attempt? Like if Starace
You
won,
went 4 for 4.
Yeah, I mean then that would be a little bit differently. But I think it is viewed. It is viewed differently. But like Carr, I would say Carr's different because he can win 4 and he sort of had 5 tries, but not really because he didn't get an NCAA.
He did not. Didn't have 5 tries.
He didn't have 5 tries, but at the same time,
he got 2 years under his belt.
Yes.
He got an extra year of practice essentially, which is a little different. But
a lot of guys do.
He didn't have 5 tries. Yeah, he didn't have 5 tries.
Right. But no one was picking, or very few were picking David Carr to win NCAAs. That what would have been his freshman year.
He lost to Deacon at CKLB that year.
Yeah.
So it would be an interesting one if David Carr won, because you got both sides of the coin. He didn't get a chance to win his freshman year, so that makes it right. But then he probably wouldn't have won that year. So
he could win 4 and go undefeated in those 4 years.
That would be, yeah, he definitely could. And I wonder, see, my question is, if he stays at 57, if he wins this year and he just stays 57 for his career, I'm not sure who comes and emerges as a real threat to David Carr in the future. If he goes up to 65,
there's some threats.
he's going to be going, I mean, it's obviously Keegan, I think, is probably a career 65. He's
I think so, yeah.
pretty skinny guy. I don't see him getting much bigger. Although he could start to get some man muscles and get a little bigger.
His dad, Brian O'Toole's got little buggy whips for arms, so I don't know. If he's
buggy whips. You're so
Brian's
folksy,
mad.
Ben.
He
I'm
does have
changing your
buggy
name
whips,
from
though.
Funky Ben to Folksy Ben Askren.
Folksy, what does that mean? What does that mean?
You know, I don't know, folksy. Like he's.
You know, I'll tell you, I stole
honorary
that
as
term.
I don't know, bull something.
Oh, hey, I stole that
Not
term
folksy.
from the Steiner brothers. They
See,
used that
I bet
term when they were
I
coaching.
bet the Steiner brothers
They're
are
from South
folksy.
Dakota. But they kind of got buggy whips too, so I don't know why they were making fun of other people with buggy
The
whips.
Steiners were pretty
they're not-
jacked. What are you talking about? Listen.
No,
Troy and
they're
Terry's-
like long. I mean, they're leanish. They're super low body fat, but they're like long and they're not like bulky. at
Listen,
all.
I bet they have bigger biceps than you, Ben.
Listen, I didn't claim to have big biceps, but I'm saying if you're gonna say someone else has got buggy whips and you got buggy whips, it don't make a whole lot of sense.
The Steiners are
They are
like
very lean and
legendary
sinewy,
shit.
and
they still
Yeah.
work out like maniacs.
I'm saying I didn't say they didn't. I
I'm
just said I said they made fun of other people for having buggy whips and they had buggy whips. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Enough buggy whip chat.
You got buggy whips, Piles.
Yeah, right. Yeah, maybe. Okay. Any other questions before we depart here?
Let me think. Hey, we got matches tomorrow night. So we talked about, I think
Tomorrow
Mizzou,
night?
Iowa State is tomorrow night, and I think UNI, Wisconsin might be tomorrow night. They're not tomorrow; they're Thursday. They're soon. So JD, if we want to do some picks on those, we should probably put them in the dock tomorrow.
Good point. Good point by Ben.
When-
And also, JD is not going to be here because he's going to Iowa, back to the
Oh, for the
homeland.
high school state tournament.
Yeah,
Yes, I am.
he's going to enter. He's going to try to
I
win.
mean, JD's getting his butt kicked to picks anyways. He should probably just retire.
He tied me last week. Yeah, I'm still up like I think 5 picks or.
You've been losing a lot, Christian. All right, so Northern Iowa, Wisconsin is on Thursday, which is live on Flow. Let me check
go.
Missouri. I'll be there in 2 seconds. Missouri wrestling schedule. I'm here.
Iowa State, Missouri is Wednesday at 6:30 Central.
And they usually have a streaming. You guys may need to go get this
UNI,
duel
Wisconsin,
because
Thursday.
they don't have a streaming button here, which that's kind of sketching me out. Like we're not going to get to watch it or something.
Look into it. We'll try to
You
figure
look
that
into
out.
it?
Yeah, we'll look into it. Okay, so that's fun. We will be back tomorrow. Ben will be back. JD's gone. He's fleeing the state.
Who are we bringing? We bringing Bader in or something?
Christian,
No. I did not realize. I'm just gonna warn you again. You're letting me and Bader do conference weekend by ourselves.
I know. I know what I've done. I've
Created a monster.
We're coming up on JD the 1 year anniversary of the Great Snowpocalypse of Austin, Texas, where
I was in Iowa.
yes, I was in Virginia. We got stranded, and that was a wild time. That was fun.
Brian O'Toole's already harassing me. He must be listening live because I said he got buggy whips.
Hey. Buggy whips.
So
All right,
funny.
Folksy Ben. For Folksy Ben, JD, I'm Christian Piles. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great Tuesday. We sure will. Giggling Ben is out, and we'll see you then.